Going live. All right, cool. We are here. We are out, y'all. And I hope that it catches up because it seems like it's having some issues right now, but okay. So, seems like there is just a little bit of lag, but that won't keep us from doing our thing because all you have to do is drop in the comments, I want a reading, and you'll get a reading. You'll get a reading from me for the energies that are affecting you during this particular Mercury retrograde. And this retrograde, did I just make a new thing up? Metrograde. Let's see. Not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Let's see. I'm still new to this, y'all, so I just want y'all to know that Um, I'm trying things out, but all you need to do is just say that you want a reading and you will get one during the course of the time that I'm figuring this shit out. You're going to be getting a Mercury in retrograde reading for this Scorpio energy that Mercury is sitting in as it appears to reverse. And while it appears to us to be traveling backwards, what it's really doing is almost like traveling back in our own personal history, in the history of how we are all connected, and giving us an opportunity to rewrite that timeline. And not so much like go back in time, but actually observe that timeline, observe the past, and recognize our ability to change it, recognize our ability to say, those are patterns from then that can keep showing up now, but they're not mine anymore. They're, past me's. Hi, Sarah. They're past me's version of what I needed and what I wanted at the time, and I don't need that anymore. Ooh, we've got some cards coming out already for you, girl. So this Scorpio retrograde, just so you know, is all about taking our having pride in, yeah, it's quite a bit of delay. Well, and I just checked out the comments again because I was really trying to make sure that the video stream on one end is working. It's a whole thing, but we're figuring it out. Um, it's This particular retrograde is about taking pride in our emotionality and therefore not treating it that's getting in our way, but treating it like it's something that helps us connect to other people. So, what we get to do is we get to recognize our patterns of communication from old timelines and start to pinpoint where in them we started to take things too personally or um, turn things that we fear into our reality by the way that we react. It's taking responsibility. It's taking responsibility for how we've shown up in conflict and how we want to show up. So, yay! She believes in me. So, Sarah's going to get her reading, and if you are joining in, please right? I want a reading in the comments so that you can get a 1 or 2 card reading about the energies you're going to be facing. Sarah, you've got 2 worlds cards, and the world's suit aligns with pentacles, which is all about the energies that affect us, that don't live inside of us, but live outside externally of us. So it's our relationships, it's our communication patterns, it's our actual physical home, as well as our room, our workspace, our like desk space, our career in general, our romantic partnerships, our family relationship. I mean, it's just like it it spans a whole range of everything outside of us that still affects us and influences us. And because Mercury in retrograde seems to be a time for a lot of people where things are out of control, um, it's a great time to talk about the pentacles. It's a great time to talk about the worlds and how if you have um, if you have, it's funny that we got these two in particular because I talk about the minor arcana in this tarot deck as being kind of like a mountain where ace is the very beginning, 5 is the peak, and then 10 is the very end of the mountain, and um it all aligns with exactly what a mountainous journey would look and act and smell like, or whatever. It's exactly like that. And um the ace is the very beginning, and 4 is my mnemonic for that is war. So that usually means that ace is the point where all potentials are possible. Any way that you want to get up or around or through or over or whatever the mountain, those are all open to you. Once you set off, you're at 2. You're at the next stage of your journey where you have to believe in yourself and center yourself around this idea that once I start, this is the path I'm taking. 3 is harmony, where you've been moving along on the journey and you're like, wow, okay, I have beginner's luck. I have a moment of um, like pure harmony with everything that's around me. And what I get to do with that harmony is create better feelings around the journey that's ahead of me. And yet, sometimes when we're in the 3 space, when we're in that harmonious, we're all in this together High School Musical space, we might get a little sidetracked by the giddiness of beginner's luck, because the universe actually gives us beginner's luck so that we actually continue to the 3rd and the 4th step of our journey. Because if we didn't have that beginner's luck, if we didn't have that little bit of success and that little bit of like warm squishies at the beginning of a journey, we wouldn't make it past 4, which, like I said, is war. 4 is the part where you're starting to realize this path hasn't been cleared by others, and I only made it as far as the universe would easily let me find. And now I've got to be the one to do the work of clearing the way. And a lot of environmental factors, external things that come to us on our journey, appear to be trying to thwart us, appear to be trying to fuck us up, essentially. And 4 is an incredibly powerful, like, shadow phase in the journey process because we get to we get to see how even the worst part of our journey, even the parts that are um, the parts that we couldn't have known we'd be like this when we set out, and yet we have to face them because otherwise we won't get through to the other side. Otherwise, we won't be able to rest. We'll be in this fighting space forever. That's how a lot of people take Mercury retrograde energy. They take it as I'm getting fucked up by this. The planets in the universe are against me. And now all of my relationships are in conflict mode, or all of my every time I say something, I'm miscommunicating, or people aren't hearing me or understanding me the way that I want them to. And it can feel like you are powerless in stage 4. And yet, what the universe wants you to know when you are feeling this way, Sarah, and for those of you who connect with this message, what the universe wants you to know is that there are many sides to the story. And in hindsight, you can see 2020. In hindsight, you can see everything clearly. So during this time, you're going to find yourself in a space where you're like, why did I even sign up for this? Why even try? If this is what the universe wants to give me on my way, it's like the post that I just posted on my Instagram about being fakeful and about being fakeful and like not actually grateful. And what that means is you can love life and try to get the best out of life, but what you actually are putting out there are complaints about 4, are complaints about the 4 stage, that space that's really testing you and saying you have to want it to get to the peak of that mountain and to see that view, because the view from all the way up there is unlike anything you've ever seen before, and is unlike anything we allow anybody who goes to achieve. So if you're in 4, you might be in a space that feels a little cramped and feels like maybe every single thing that you were hoping would go right actually turns sour or takes a left turn. Take that left turn. Take take that turn with the challenges as opposed to against them. Imagine that you are at every single turn where things go differently and go astray, or just not how you want them. Whenever you're experiencing that phase, or you're feeling like you're in battle and you're like, I don't even know what to do, my strategy coming into this was totally different than what I actually needed. Once you're there, take whatever strategy you need to switch it to next. Change it up. Be willing to go with the flow. Be willing to see all possibilities and all potentials as exactly what is meant for you to observe at that time. Go back to the drawing board. I can't put it any simpler than that. When you're faced with the challenge of being at that space, recognize you just need to go with it, because this is Scorpio season, it's water sign energy, and you actually, hi Tanya, hi, if you want a reading, just comment that you want a reading. I want a reading, and you will be next for receiving information for your personal Mercury in retrograde journey. So thanks for joining me. And so in the 4 space, you're going to find yourself um, feeling the chaos and knowing that you need to go with it because it's Scorpio, it's water sign, Mercury in retrograde. And you'll know that that is just before 5. 5 is the peak where you get to either huff and puff and say, that was the fucking worst. I don't want to go back there. I'm so uh I can't believe that happened to me. I didn't deserve that. Complaints, 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 complaints. Or 5 is the space where you say, "Oh my gosh, that was brutal, but totally worth it because I learned something. I get to be at an elevated space and honor the intensity of my journey with this new level of awareness and clarity." Pretty special space. That's a pretty special fucking space to be in. So I hope that this helps you, Sarah. I know that like climbing the mountain can sound really scary and like I said it's it's totally worth it. If you've got the attitude of gratitude and not the fakeful grateful, but like actually being grateful for everything that comes to you because you know that it's not just happening to you, it's happening for you, then that's what you get out of it. Yay! All right, Tanya, you ready for your reading? We've got a little lag, by the way. So if you're watching this right now, we've got a little bit of a lag. And yes, attitude of gratitude. We've got a little bit of a lag, and we're just going with it. Put your comments in the comment box. I will see them and I will be able to respond to them once I get there. I can actually probably see your comments live, but my replies are going to be a little bit lagged. So just be patient with me. And I appreciate you for taking the time to join me. Let's do this. Here we go. We got our card. Now I have to go and get it. Oh, okay. So we just talked about 5, and we got the 5 of crystals. Crystals is about mental energy and your mental space. And 5, like I said, is kind of like the peak of the mountain. And the mountain is the situation that you're in, the challenge that you're currently facing, the project that you're currently on. It's everything. It's life. It's your relationship with your mother. It's everything. It's all of your moments. Oh, we're actually catching up pretty well right now. We're actually kind of catching up, so this is pretty cool. Um, it's actually it's actually every situation that you find yourself in. But the crystals show us how on that journey, sometimes what we are seeing is an illusion, is a version of the truth, and is simply our perception reflected in all of the different many facets of the situation that we're in. So, like I said, when you start a journey, when you start on a path and you make that very first decision of all the other decisions that come after, you have the potential to take it anywhere you want it. You can go straight up the mountain, you could walk alongside on the trail, you could get in the lazy river and you could let the river take you wherever it's going to take you. You can go with that flow and say, I'm going to be hands off. I'm going to be an observer, but I'm going to be hands off. I'm not going to take any like action during this time. You can choose however it is that you to address something. However, just know, even when you start, all of those other paths that you could have taken from that point exist in reality and are kind of suspended for you. And what that means is when you get to 5, when you get to that point where during this Mercury in retrograde, you're feeling some type of way around all of these misunderstandings and all of these conflicts and all of this technology bullshit. When you are at 5 and you are past that point where you've dealt with them and you have like a moment to really collect and reflect on what has happened and recognize the importance of it and the importance of experiencing it at the time that you did, you get to actually reframe. And like I was saying with Sarah's reading, you can reframe and say, okay, how am I going to get down? I know that I'm at the top right now, but do I need to climb down? Could I just sled down in a fucking toboggan? Can I get in a can I get like a fast pass lift off of this? Can I get out of there some other way? Can I finish journey in a different way than I started? And it feels like that is going to be one of the one of the obstacles that you'll be facing, Tanya, is recognizing that I've been through a lot. I've been through so much that I learned from this situation and from all these situations that I'm finally now getting clarity on. And now, even though I chose to look at just one side of, let's see, trying to find a good one. Here we go. Even though when I started, I had a lot of options for this crystal, even though I chose to just see this side and to really experience one version of how this could be experienced, maybe I want to flip it and I want to try and look at it from a different perspective now. And getting down the mountain, winning that mountain challenge, winning all of the obstacles that you face, actually looks like standing at the top saying, wow, I have clarity around the patterns that have been showing up over and over and over again, winning and getting down the mountain safely with your wholeness intact, with your higher self guiding you down rather than scraping your way and fumbling your way to the bottom like, I need to get out of here. That was too much for me. I didn't learn anything. Rather than doing that, you can just turn your point of view around and say, these patterns are clearly happening, and I'm getting this clarity now because I'm finally ready to do something about it. I'm finally ready to make a change. I'm finally ready to respond in a different way. And that's what this particular Mercury in retrograde is all about. Yes, I'm kind of there now. Excellent. That's what this Mercury in retrograde is about. From today until November 20th, we are all going to have the opportunity to rewrite our patterns and go back to the very base foundation of how our conflict styles and our confrontational patterns were created, expose them, and say, "Not today, Satan." Not today, Satan. Not today, shadow. I don't need that. Whatever you're trying to sell, I'm not buying it anymore because I got clarity on how disempowered I was feeling by the belief I had around how I was being treated. I thought that I was the victim of all of this bad shit. Turns out I'm 100% that bitch. Well, turns out all of that bad shit happened not to victimize me, but to turn me into a champion, to turn me into a redeemer, the one who can redeem all of the negative qualities of an experience by alchemizing it into a solution, alchemizing it into a a a simple, clear answer of like, oh, this is what I've learned, and now I get to put a little drop of that clarity on every situation that makes me feel like a victim from now on. I get to turn it around and say, wow, if I'm not actually a victim of this negative shit, then what am I? I'm the beneficiary of the lesson. I'm the beneficiary, not the victim. And that can only happen by examining your beliefs and paying attention to when you're experiencing the anxiety and the self doubt and the second guessing and the overwhelm of like, oh my gosh, it's happening again. Because even now that you have clarity, when you experience it again, you're not going to be able to just see it for what it is immediately. You're going to see it and be like, oh shit, this is happening. And then you'll remember, oh shit, this is happening. So, what did I learn last time? Let me pour a little drop of clarity and take a step and recognize that my own beliefs about how I need to approach this have always been wrong, and it's not my fault. I am not to blame. And if I continue to blame myself, then I will continue to receive blame. I will continue to receive the burden of responsibility that other people put on me as a result of me accepting blame. You don't need to take responsibility for all of the blame and all of the, everything that other people put on you. You just need to take responsibility for yourself. And the only way you can see that is if you recognize and you stop yourself from the second guessing of like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, is that really how I am? Do people really see me that way? Is it really that bad? Stop yourself in those moments of anxiety and doubt and overwhelm and just say, oh, okay, I see a pattern, I see a pattern, I see a pattern. Where have I seen this pattern before? And how did I agree last time it came up to address it in the future? Because the future is now. The future is, it's happening again. It's in my current field of vision. And that means that I need to do something about it. Because that's how you take responsibility instead of blame. And taking responsibility is hard, but it is a major improvement. A major improvement. upon all of the growth that you have been manifesting. I would love to know, oh my gosh, you hit it spot on. Awesome. I would love to know if either one of you, if anybody else has a question that you would like me to hit on. I think it's just us here. And if anybody has another question, feel free to drop a question and I can do another single card for you. And otherwise, I think we're gonna wrap up for tonight because we've been doing this for 30 minutes. If we had more people to give card readings, then I would be here forever. Like I would be here for 4 to 20 hours. I'd be here for 24 hours live streaming until the end of the world if there were enough people to read for. But for now, I'm just going to hold because I know that there's a little bit of a lag. So if those of you who are here would like to um, take take advantage of the services, the free services, then I'm here. And don't mind me while I take a boomerang of all of this. I'm booming my ring. Live. Okay. You're welcome so much. Thanks for joining me, Tanya. Okay. I think, thank you for the like. I love you. I think that is it. So I'm going to end this now and say, I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful rest of your Mercury retrograde. Make sure that you're following me closely on Instagram because I have a few more tips on this specific energy from the reading that I've already done that are coming up. And I know the fact that it's like Halloween and it's the beginning of Mercury retrograde, the technical beginning um, of Mercury in retrograde, and it's just fabulous. But I didn't have like a costume this year or any costume ideas. The only thing that I really have is like this black zip up tight zip up suit and these green pants, and I was gonna be Kim Possible and make like a little fake beeper if I needed to, but I just didn't like feel like going into to any of the parties that I was invited to, or I just wasn't. I was. I just wanted to be with my own energy, and I think too. We are, because the veil is at its thinnest. We're able to connect with our ancestors, and my aunt has been coming through in my dreams quite a bit, and I think I'm just gonna connect with her. I think I'm gonna have a night in with my aunt and really tap into her energy and see if she has anything to help me out with or encourage me toward. But other than that, I'm just gonna be chilling tonight. I hope that you have a wonderful evening. I hope that you have a safe, and just know, like I always say, you are deserving of all the love. Not you have to earn the love, but you are deserving right now. You don't have to do anything else. Right as you are right now, you are deserving of all the love that you desire. I love you. Have a great night.